Okay, today I'm going to show you guys how to make a relatively raccoon-proof bird feeder hanger. The intention of this hanger is that it can be hung from a tree, whereas most raccoon-proof type feeders have to be hung from a pole. So in terms of what you need, you need some special equipment. First of all, you're going to need some steel cable. Let's start with this. I'm using some loose and company stainless steel cable. And I wrote down the Amazon part number right here. It's SC09477. I got it on Amazon, and it's a small stainless steel cable, very strong. Now, I want to make an important point because you're going to need to use what's called a swagger, which is this guy here. Pretty beefy tool. It's important that the swagger that you use match the cable that you've purchased. Okay, so if possible, I would recommend borrowing one of these because they are kind of pricey. Unless you're doing this a bunch, you probably want to try to avoid buying one of these unnecessarily. But anyways, given this steel cable that I have a, this is also made by Lucent Company, and I don't have the exact part number, but it says right on here 1/16 YT, which is probably the size of the swag, if you will. I'm just making sure there's no other part numbers on here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, the other thing you need is a cable cutter. This is a Felco cable cutter, and here's the Amazon part number. All this stuff is available on Amazon. And what's different about this is you can kind of see as I close it, it will kind of hug the cable and pull it tight against the, I guess the fulcrum here. And then as you pinch it, it will cut it very cleanly. It's important to use the right kind of cable cutter because otherwise your cable is going to fray, and you certainly don't want that. Now, other things you're going to need, this is going to be the way that we actually hang the bird feeder. So this is called a trigger snap, and I got the idea to use these because I bought some critter-proof garbage cans that use this to basically seal the garbage can shut and keep raccoons out. And I haven't had a single raccoon get into it. So basically the idea behind this is it requires a lot of action to open. So if you can sufficiently put this away from the tree branch, it's going to be really difficult for a raccoon to balance himself and get this all the way open to release the bird feeder. And you can also see that not only does he have to release the bird feeder, but he also has to then hold this open and get the thing out. So it's a really kind of foolproof way to hang these things. In terms of where I got these, I got them on Amazon again. Here's the UPC code. It's 0306996299879. Hopefully that will help you get it. And it's an Ironman trigger snap round swivel eye stainless steel. Okay. And then other things you're gonna need one of these guys. These are called a thimble, and basically the idea behind this is that the steel cable wraps around it to avoid pinching the cable, so it maintains its strength. So you'll need some of those, and the Amazon part number's there for you. And then in terms of actually fastening the steel cable or with the swagger, you're going to need one of these. It's this oval sleeve, and again, the Amazon part number's here for you. These are all Lucent Company parts. So without further ado, let's get started. What I'd recommend doing, and this is going to depend on how tall your tree branch is relative to where you're hanging the bird feeder, but you probably want to kind of pull out about, I'd say, anywhere between 4 to 6 feet of this steel cable. Okay, so I'm going to do, the branch I'm going to be working with is a little bit taller, so I'm going to do this closer to 6 feet. So I'm just going to use my arm span out about 5.5 feet tall. Kind of estimate this, doesn't have to be exact. Of course, I'm probably being a little wasteful. Okay, then I'm just going to use the cable cutter. Make sure that you've got the cable in near the fulcrum, not near the tip of the cutter, and just kind of pull it slowly to get the cable in there, and then we're just going to apply a little force and cut it. Now, I'm going to show you this cut. It's super clean. Notice the cable is totally intact, not fraying. That's really important. Hopefully we can get this thing to focus. Tap the screen, please. Camera lady. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, well anyway, you have to take my word for it that it's not frayed. So, what we're going to do is, let me get these stinking labels off this guy. We don't want these. By the way, this stainless steel cable is totally weatherproof, so it will not rust. So it should last years, if not forever. do is take this thimble. This is kind of a pain, and you got to be careful you don't pinch yourself. You want to get the thimble around the inside of this eye, I guess, the swivel eye. So I'm going to apply some force. Again, this is difficult, and you don't want to pinch yourself. There's probably easier ways to do this if you got the right kind of pliers, but I do not. So. There we go. Okay. Now, and then just kind of bend it so that it's, straight as expected. And you can see this is how it's going to be hanging. Okay. So now we want to take one of the cut ends of the cable, and we're going to wrap it around this guy. Or actually, sorry. First, we need to put the sleeve on. Okay. Just going to bring it up like that. And then we're going to kind of thread this through the thimble. Okay, and you gotta kind of just feel this out. You don't want a lot of excess. And you want to just bring it around and insert it into the sleeve just so it's slightly in there. Now you can see I've got too much here, so what I want to do is kind of wiggle this back, tighten this up a little bit. And again, the thimble will prevent pinching, right? Because we don't want this cable to pinch. It's going to reduce its strength. Not that we need a lot of strength, but still, it's the right way to do it. By the way, once you have the swagging tool, the rest of this equipment is not that expensive. So if you could, like I said, if you can borrow a swagging tool from someone, that's ideal. So we're going to just kind of get this in here just like that, right? Tighten it up as much as we can. Notice I've got a little cable sticking out. That's appropriate. And I'm going to hold that with one hand, and this is kind of tricky, which is why I've got somebody else filming this. We're going to kind of insert this in the swagging tool. I'll open it a little more. And turn the oval so that it's like that. It's kind of opposite the direction of the swagging action. Okay, and now I'm going to just close this slightly. You want to make sure that the oval is centered between the jaws, which I currently have it that way. And I'm just going to close it ever so slightly so it gets in there and stays. Before you apply the final force to swag it, make sure you've got the cable sticking slightly through the oval. Oops, just moved it a little. Sticking slightly through the oval, not too much. Oval centered. And you want to just kind of look at the end holding the thimble and make sure everything looks okay. I'm going to just tighten this up a little. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and swag this. And this is where you apply a little force. I would just get it started the way I'm kind of doing it here while I'm holding the oval. Once you got it started, grab the other handle and just apply the final pressure. Okay? Doesn't require a ton of force if you have the right tool. Okay? Let me show you what this looks like. Not the cleanest swagging job I've ever done, but it looks fine. Okay, so that'll hold tight, and this thing is not going anywhere. And now, what we're going to do, I'm not going to take you outside for this, but ultimately what you want to do is use another one of those ovals, one of these guys, right? Put it on the cable. Put it on the other end of the cable. And wrap this end of the cable around the tree branch. Okay, so you're going to make a loop. You don't need a thimble in this case because it's not going to pinch. This is going to be over a big tree branch, right? There's no chance of pinching. And then you're going to put the sleeve on there, and then you're going to swag it so that it's, kind of tight on the tree branch. What you don't want is you don't want the raccoon to be able to move this closer to the trunk of the tree, for example. So position this on the branch so that it really can't be moved towards the trunk of the tree. So maybe that's you make this tight on the tree branch, or maybe there's a branch, kind of coming off of the branch that you're putting this on that prevents it from getting brought closer to the tree. Whatever the case may be, okay? The other thing is you want to make sure that this fastener is not close to the tree branch. I'm sorry, my cat's meowing in the background. He's not allowed on the table, but I'm going to leave him for a minute. You don't want this real close to the tree branch, because if the raccoon is on the tree branch and can reach this, he can get the bird feeder down. So you want to put this on a tree branch such that the raccoon can't possibly be putting his balance on the tree branch and getting to this fastener, right? If he can jump down and grab onto the bird feeder, okay, maybe he might be able to apply a little action here, but the reality is he's going to be holding himself up and he won't be able to get this open. So keep some distance between the branch and this fastener, and this will work well. I think that's all I need. Thanks for watching.